Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. After a week of waiting for more and more votes to report out of the state of Arizona, we can finally say there has been a decision made in the very contested Arizona Senate race. And after the race has been called by the New York Times, the Associated Press, Fox News, and the Decision Desk HQ, we can officially say the Arizona Senate race has been won by Democratic candidate Ruben Gallego. Gallego defeated Republican candidate and challenger Kari Lake. I'm going to break down the map of the 2024 United States Senate race in Arizona for the final time and go over the votes in the respective counties. But before I do that, make sure you give this video a like, click subscribe to my channel down in the description box below, and tap the bell icon to always get notified when I post a new video. Okay, so Arizona and its Senate race. This was, for a while, the Democratic incumbent Senator Kyrsten Sinema. This was her seat. Last year, she switched to become an independent. So even though she did become an independent, the seat is still technically a Democratic seat as she overwhelmingly voted with the Democrats. But this race, where Sinema was not running for re-election, was between a Democratic and Republican challenger. And the Democratic candidate, Ruben Gallego, ended up winning this race with over 95% of the vote in by about 2 percentage points. To be specific, Gallego ended up winning this race by about 78,000 votes or so, margin of victory in Arizona. So how did these 78,000 votes happen? Well, for Arizona, it all begins and ends in Maricopa County. This is where the city of Phoenix is, the capital of Arizona. This is the largest county in Arizona and has over a majority of the people living in the state of Arizona do live in Maricopa County. For example, Ruben Gallego got 1.6, about a little over 1.6 million votes in the state of Arizona. He got over 1 million votes just in Maricopa County alone. Kari Lake, who did lose this race, got 1.5 million votes in Arizona, and she had about 930,000 votes come out of Maricopa County. So Maricopa County is the largest county in the state, and this is where a very, very close race is decided. And that's the interesting thing. As I mentioned, the margin of victory statewide was about 70,000 votes or so between Gallego and Lake at the statewide level. In Maricopa County, the margin of victory between Gallego and Lake was a little over 100,000 votes. So what that tells you is the margin of victory statewide, that margin was made up in Maricopa County. The reason Ruben Gallego won this race was he was able to win Maricopa County by the margin that he did. Had Maricopa County been a lot closer, say only a 2,000 or 3,000 vote difference between Gallego and Lake, it's very possible Kari Lake could have won this race, as maybe some other counties made up those numbers in terms of closeness, and Maricopa County would not have been the tipping point in this race. But in this situation, Ruben Gallego got 51% in Maricopa County, Kari Lake got 46%, and a 5-point win for a Democrat is way too overpowering in Arizona and in Maricopa County for any Republican to have a chance at winning. It still ended up being a very close race at about 2 points margin of victory, but still Gallego running up very impressive numbers in Maricopa County by +5 was enough to put him over the top. And just for comparison here, Gallego won statewide and won Maricopa County by 5 points. On the presidential race, Donald Trump won statewide by about 5 points, and he won Maricopa County by 3 points. So again, this just shows you the significance of what a Republican winning Maricopa County by 3 points looks like and what a Democrat winning it by 5 looks like compared to the other vote that's left out there in the state. Because even though Maricopa County is going to be very close, you will have some Republican counties like Mojave, like Yavapai, like Pinal, like Gila, like Graham, like Cochise. These counties are going to come in for the Republican candidate and not make up Maricopa County, but may be able to make up what Pima County is going to be, which is a very strong Democratic county. And if you added up all the Republican votes in all the counties that voted for Kari Lake versus, say, the counties that voted for Gallego, like Pima County, Cocosino, and Apache, and Santa Cruz, I think it's more likely than not there are more Republican votes statewide than there are Democratic votes. The only difference is Maricopa County is where things are decided. So if you took Maricopa County out of Arizona, it's more likely than not the state would probably be a Republican state by a few points. There'd be more Republican votes than Democratic votes. But Maricopa County is where most people in the state of Arizona live. This is one of the fastest growing areas in Arizona, and this is where the elections are settled now. As I showed you, Donald Trump won Maricopa County by 3 points. He won the election by 5. Here, Ruben Gallego wins the county by 5 points and still only wins the election statewide by 2, which again shows you the Republican advantage throughout the rest of the state when all the votes are added up, but Maricopa County is where the difference is made. So 50 to 48 for Gallego over Lake. Looking at some other areas, Yuma County, Lake got 57% to Gallego's 41%. And I'm just doing a quick comparison here between the presidential race to show you a reason why Kari Lake lost this race and Donald Trump won. I already did Maricopa County, already showed that one. Now looking at Yuma County, 57 to 41. The presidential race is 62 to 37. This is a trend we saw in this election cycle in the polling leading up to the election, and in a lot of cases, it came to fruition on Election Day, where the Republican Senate candidates and challengers were underperforming the percentages that Donald Trump was getting by as many as 5 to 6 points. Kari Lake was on the lower end of that, meaning she was losing compared to Trump's margin by about 5 to 6 points in a lot of the polls, and Yuma County seems to be like that. Maricopa County, where Trump got 51%, Kari Lake only got 46%. That is a 5-point underperformance. Mojave County, one of the larger counties in the state, Kari Lake did very well, getting 73% to Gallego's 25%. But when Trump was on the ballot, it's 77 to 22%. Just a little bit of a difference of about 4 percentage points could very well be the difference between winning and losing an election. Now, of course, in Mojave County, that would not have been enough that even if Lake was able to get a few more thousands of votes, the margin statewide was still over 70,000. It wouldn't have been enough. But those votes do add up. Now looking at Yavapai County, where Lake got 63%, Gallego got 35%, Trump got 66%, Harris 33%. So again, a 2-point improvement for Trump compared to Kari Lake's numbers. Again, a few extra thousands of votes there could have made that 70,000 vote difference on the Senate race all the more important. Cocosino County, a very well expected Democratic area, was 62-36 for Gallego. Not as large as Maricopa or Pima, but still a pretty solid Democratic area. 62-36, let's look at the presidential race, 59-39. Again, Trump outperforming Kari Lake there as well. While we're here, Navajo 58-41 for Trump, Lake 54-44. Apache 62-36 for Gallego, 59-40. You're starting to see a trend here of not only did Ruben Gallego defeat Kari Lake statewide, but Donald Trump outperformed Kari Lake everywhere percentage-wise in Arizona, and Kari Lake underperformed Donald Trump everywhere, not just by 1 point, in some cases up to 5 or 6 points. Now, Gila County 68-31 for Trump versus Harris, 64-34. Once again, the trend continues. Pinal County 56-42 for Lake versus Gallego, Trump 61-39. Graham County 74-25, Trump versus Harris, 69-28, Lake versus Gallego. A small county, Greenlee County, only a few thousands of votes here, total 63-34, but again, percentages 70-29. Kari Lake underperformed Donald Trump in a lot of these areas by about 5 points, and that is a big reason why Kari Lake did lose this race and Ruben Gallego won, is Kari Lake was not able to keep up with the percentages and margins that Donald Trump did, where Trump showed he won this race, he won the state by 5 points. So Trump's map here was the blueprint for what Lake had to do on election night to win. And Lake, it's not surprising she lost considering she's running 5 points behind Trump in a lot of these areas. Cochise County, 60-38, Lake defeated Gallego there. Of course, we still have some votes remaining, still have a third of the vote left in this area, so this will likely change. But Trump was 63-36 at the same margin. So again, a 3-point advantage for Trump there. Santa Cruz, 59-40 for Harris over Trump. For Gallego, 63-34, a much better performance for Gallego here. And Pima County, one of the second largest counties in the state, 59-38 for Gallego over Lake. Looking at the presidential race, 57-42. So again, just a little bit of a 2-point overperformance for Gallego compared to Kamala Harris, and Lake running a few points behind Donald Trump, enough to hurt her. And then when all things are said and done, we come to Maricopa County, where Ruben Gallego at 51% overperformed Kamala Harris by 3%, and Kari Lake underperformed Donald Trump by about 5 to 6%. This is where the election was won for Donald Trump, and this is where the election was lost for Kari Lake. So now that the race has officially been called, that's really all I have to say about the Arizona Senate race. I'm making it sound like Kari Lake got crushed looking at the margins in some of these areas, but it was a very close race. It was a 2-point race, a margin of difference of about 70,000 votes when we have over 3 million votes cast in the state of Arizona. So it was a very, very close race, and Arizona will continue to be very close going forward in the elections to come. But this is a very, very close race and a very, very tight election year. But it has to be said that when Donald Trump won the state by 5 and Kari Lake lost the state by 2, it has to be mentioned and can't be ignored. So that's all I really have to say about the Arizona Senate race. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, again, remember to give this video a like and click subscribe and tap the bell icon so you never miss when I post another video. I've also done some videos in the past about the Nevada Senate race and the Pennsylvania Senate race a few days ago, so go check those out if you are interested in that. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in a future video. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really, really, really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.